The difference between us is that I can feel pain.
Sounds like a real boogeyman. 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you.
Not to mention the fact that you're talking to a dead guy.
There's someone else in the hotel with us. There's a crazy woman in one of the rooms.
It's got a death curse.
This isn't science. It's more like black magic.
Your specimen has been processed, and we are now ready to begin the test proper.
Hello, my Night Owl friends, and welcome to a very special edition of Pumpkin Hill Radio. I'm your host, Travis Wormwood, and with me, as always, is our host, Dawson Trailer. Here at Pumpkin Hill Radio, we dig into every kind of esoteric topic we can find, paranormal mysteries, a little bit of true crime. We're talking high strangeness, stuff you're not going to find in your mom's paranormal bin. This is the weirdest of the weird. Today is no exception. Just a little spoiler, as you can see in the title of the episode, we're talking about a specific patent.
Yeah.
That the military has gotten their hands on that is about walking through walls. Now, this is going to be fun because we get to do a little bit of talk about vibration and stuff.
Yeah, imagine it's a lot more than just walking through walls.
We have specific diagrams we're going to go over and all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah,
but before we do that, we're on video. So if you're listening on audio, check the video.
Check out my shirt's really cool. I can kind of be a little see-through.
Also wore a green shirt to the green screen room.
It's not the same green, but you can still see those characters running through my body.
Yes, if you're only listening, then you're missing the background that we have chosen for today's episode, which is the Matrix text scrolling, whatever.
I'm rendering thin through the Matrix.
You know what that is?
What is it?
The green text code that scrolls behind in the Matrix, that is, I believe, ingredients for ramen or something. It's they just took some random Japanese character and threw him on there.
If you really want to make some good ramen,
it could be right there.
Pause the video, you probably get a whole
hidden in
recipe.
plain sight. Tell your friends about us. Rate us wherever you can. That really helps us grow.
Yeah.
I see the numbers going up every week, and I know it's because our fans are not our fans, our listeners. I would never say we have fans. Our listeners are telling
members,
more people about it. Yeah, the cult grows, and it's with you.
The exclusive
that
members.
So if this is your first time
High
listening,
honor.
welcome to the Cult of the Star Mother. You are signing an audio contract just by listening. You are in the cult. You can join further layers of this cult. Welcome. Yeah.
Welcome to the family.
If you want to join further layers of this cult, go to patreon.com/Pumpkin Hill Radio for all kinds of content. We do bonus episodes. We do we do a lot of extra stuff. About four to five bonus episodes a month of just pure, unfiltered content for only true initiates. Yeah.
Get on the crazy train.
Yep.
Hit the Patreon.
Yes. You have been found.
Yeah.
What else we got? PumpkinHillRadio.com. You can find all the social links there, all the links to the Etsy, everything there. PumpkinHillRadio@gmail.com. You can send us your stories. You can send us anything you want to talk about. If you don't want to rate us 5 stars and you think we deserve less, just go ahead and email us your suggestions instead of doing anything less than a 5.
You can also
that would destroy me.
Need to talk some junk. Just talk some junk to us. We'll talk junk back.
Mm-hmm. If you're watching the video, enjoy me and Dawson's red complexion. We've been out in the sun.
Yeah. It's hot. It's a hot one today.
So that's happening. Ghost host this week. So if you sign up for the Patreon, you do get a little shout out up top. This week we have Derek McKee.
What up, Derek?
What up, Derek McKee? You get the McKee to the cult for joining in. So
one free McKee for Derek. McKee to my heart.
I like that. I'm not
got the McKee to my heart.
I was about to be upset with all this, but
nah, we're good.
So those listening, we haven't skipped a beat. We've been there every Tuesday.
Yeah, baby.
But the thing is, me and Dawson haven't actually been in the same room to record in probably 2.5 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's been a bit.
So we're gonna do a little more chatter, maybe than usual.
Birthday.
The horror this week section might go into the 15-minute mark instead of the 10-minute mark. Don't worry about it. We got a good episode.
Yeah,
after
check it
that.
out. We're checking in,
and all the horror this week is pertinent information.
It's good stuff.
With that being said, Doss, do you want to start us off with horror this week? You've been reading a book?
Yeah. So I've been reading the Space Trilogy by C.S. Lewis. I'm on the first book. Just let me tell you, just bizarre.
If you thought humans just started being weird the
bizarre.
last 40 years, no, people have been having insane thoughts. I actually don't know when C.S. Lewis was writing. It probably wasn't.
It was a while ago, I think.
But just
it was around Tolkien time.
I love
I think him and Tolkien had beef.
Yeah, older sci-fi. Older fantasy too,
really cool.
People didn't just start having crazy ideas. They're just getting refurbished.
And it's the best because a lot of times you see sci-fi and it's this barren rock planet. Everything's kind of hard and jagged. It's robot-y or you know, that cosmic horror kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it's like such a unique way to describe a planet. Like, and like going through space and stuff too. Like the way he's like talking about, he's like, we're not in like a void. It's like we're like going through some kind of liquid, and like it.
Cool.
Man, and like the way he describes like this like gravitational system on this ship, and how it like it's all in the center and everything kind of like rotates around it, but it's
Sure.
like there's like square rooms still. It's just like an illusion of it because it's like the way the gravity's working on it.
Okay.
And then
I love it's called the Clark Tech, that technology that is like science fiction based right now. But like also could be like real in the future or whatever.
Yeah.
Very interesting stuff. I like
and like the way he like describes like the plant life on this thing, and like how he like, because the main character, like the way he like is thinking about and like taking this like new planet in, it's because he doesn't have like a reference for any of it. So at first he's like, I'm just seeing like different colors blending, and it slowly starts taking form, and like he like meets these like creatures. Right now he's like learning their like language, and he's like with this like village of this like these like giant beaver cat penguin things.
nice.
And like they're talking to him, and they're like the things he's like learning from these things about like his own humanity and how little he actually knows about humans, and like
Yeah, I love a good like
It's-
rendition of an alien that like isn't just like
there's like another one that's
like a masked kind of person. Like it's
Yeah.
like a totally different way of being.
yep.
It's
And
always
like
interesting to read about. Speculative fiction is great for
there's
that.
there's like another like race of aliens that are like on this planet. They're not even aliens, they're just another beings, I guess. And the way he describes them is that they're like tall, white, like ghostly, like everything's like weirdly elongated, like mountain peaks, and like the waves on the water have like different, it's like just different gravity, so like the waves look different. They're like way too narrow.
That's something weird
than
to
they
think
usually
about
should
too.
be, and
Yeah,
I'm
like all that normal stuff just
bro,
gets
it's
tilted a
so
little bit.
good. It's the first time I picked up a book in a while, and I'm hooked on it.
Nice. Good,
I
dude.
can't stop reading it. It's
Reading's
so
great.
good.
I feel
I'm
like
into it. Yeah,
I'm
I'm just slow book club it through the fucking horror this week as I go.
That. Yeah, perfect. Keep us dialed in.
Yeah, man.
Let's see. Horror this week. It's really horror from 3 weeks ago to present. I don't have.
Yeah.
I don't want to stay on any one thing too long. You know, we talk a little bit of dreams here. I don't want to talk all day about dreams, but I did get some very prophetic shit recently. I've been like, I had one specific one with this like huge anaconda-like creature, and it was just very much like this dragon like coated, and it just seeing
The world
like,
serpent.
Yeah, seeing the world serpent in a dream feels very powerful to
Yeah,
me.
that's
The next like week I was like just questioning everything. It was nice to see him there.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Other stuff, I've been getting ads for a Schumann resonance device.
Yeah,
Dawson.
dude.
I'm like, I'm gonna end up buying it. It's like $85. There's like ones that are like $300. I'm like, I don't know.
Need something.
It's
Good like noise machine to sleep.
yeah, I don't want to just like key in and buy into every single
Yeah.
thing, but also I do believe in some of that stuff, and it can't hurt, right?
It's probably
It
good.
can't hurt. Then that like led me to like the greater discussion of like, so you're wearing your copper shoes today,
Yeah, I was wearing my my
Right.
grounding shoes.
I was at the metaphysical shop the other day, and I just narrowly avoided buying like a copper bracelet.
Yeah.
And we've talked about like the properties of copper and different like metals in ancient times, and how they would like
They're like
capture or repel demons. How you could
and just like the scientific part is like it just like charges and attracts like electromagnetic things
Like if you
that
put
are
like
good for you.
put like a copper rod in like your
Grounds you.
garden, right?
Yeah,
It, like,
yeah,
keeps,
I
like,
do that, dude.
keeps pests away and
My
stuff.
like I added one to a plant that like was struggling to get more than like 3 leaves. Dude, it won't stop growing.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like insane.
Right? So if there's like
Big
something
leaves.
to that, right? So I decided that I'm
Absolutely.
going to like lock in on this. I don't want to look insane, but I do
Yeah.
want to have like some pieces on me just to like feel the grounding.
man.
It always feels good whenever I touch that kind of
Dude,
metal. Yeah.
speaking of grounding too, on my walk to work yesterday morning, I stopped by a tree. You seen those like there's like reels on Instagram of like the like hippie chicks that go in the woods and they're like talking to a tree. They're like, "Hi tree, like touch my shoulder. It's okay. Like nice to meet you." And, like the like leaves like start fluttering and like move down.
Sure.
I like tried it. I'm like, let's see, because I believe in that stuff.
Mm-hmm,
I'm like, I want to like see, you know. Worst thing is like I get disappointed and feel silly. Dude, I did it. Dude, it was great. It was weird, man.
Just
I felt
immediate-
so connected to
like
this
some
tree.
immediate reaction.
Yeah, it was like one of those things where I'm like, no one's talked to this tree in so long.
Yeah.
I like talked to it and it like, you know, started fluttering in the wind
Very
a little
true.
bit.
Yeah.
I was like, you can touch me, just touch my shoulder. And it like slowly moved down and like just like brushed up on me. I'm like, oh, nice.
Nice.
So now I got to visit that tree every day.
Yeah. The
Say,
homie.
Hey, buddy.
The homie.
I love the trees, dude.
That's
I'm
good.
connecting with the trees and the earth. fucking good, man.
Yeah, that feels good. That's why I'm like, I just got to get.
I need to get a
glamored up.
grounding sheet too for my bed.
That's what you said.
If I get that and the Schumann resonance, dude, I'm gonna be in the
Yeah.
dream realm.
Mhm.
Good.
I just got I did get some holy water from the metaphysical
Yeah, you
shop.
gave me that.
and
I
it's
felt good yesterday.
Yeah, I got a Dowsess, and it's like I've had my time with God and different
Yeah, yeah.
religions and things, and I've kind of been around the block with all this stuff, and I think regardless of like what I might even personally think, I just felt it was good to have. And
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And
Dude,
like
that's why I bought that
I-
cross,
yeah.
certified sacred item from
I'm
Jerusalem. I'm like,
if this has
bro,
been blessed by someone that has been studying like their whole life in this religion, I would believe there is some power in it just
dude.
because of like that's how objects
Yeah,
work in
man.
my head. Like that's how like
and we talk about like chaos magic all the time, where it's like you take the tools you can and
Yeah.
use them, and it's like, bro, that's to like just discount that.
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
I
now.
got it. Yeah, I got us. I hit our bar and I hit our house with my
Yeah,
house here
nice,
with some holy
Dude,
water.
I gotta go get some holy water here.
Yeah, yeah. And I got some other that like I forgot what they called it, but it's just very finely ground eggshells.
Dude, yeah, I started
right?
drying
It's,
out
like,
some eggs.
Very
today.
soft. Yeah, you just wash them, grind them up, and then that's great for instead of like a salt circle, you can do like a protection circle with that. You can throw a little bit on your door. I did it.
It's really good for plants in your garden too.
Yeah, yes, it is.
It's a good supplement. You can if you can just like ingest
Start
it.
eating this. Yeah,
Really good calcium, minerals in that.
I had some packages stolen from my front door the other day.
Yeah, you
I've
gotta
like
protect
been
it,
locking
though.
in the protection a little bit more.
Yeah.
I like put a bunch of crazy signs on my door.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
my wife texted me like later that night. She's like, I did take them down just so they don't think that we're like nuts, but
Yeah,
that's fine. That's fine. I just went ahead and put the big huge sigil
nice
I
warning.
drew on it. I just put it underneath the doormat.
Yeah, there you
took
go.
down the notes that said your spawn will die before you and things like that.
Anything that can be perceived as a threat.
yeah. I was like, I think I wrote 1,000 curses onto
Yeah.
you, things like that. I'm like,
Oh, dude, yeah. Speaking of that too, the other day I was walking through the park, connecting with trees, and I found a really cool "Don't Tread on Me" hat.
nice.
It's kind of another talking about like protection, like
Yeah.
like warding off evil. I'm like,
Bizarre,
nice.
yeah.
It's like a cool golden "Don't Tread on Me" hat with like the golden snake and stuff. It's kind of nice.
Nice.
Washed it, obviously.
Yeah.
It's like brand new though.
Oh yeah.
Fucking sweet. I'm gonna start wearing it more.
Someone must have had like a quick change of heart in the park.
Yeah, someone just like forgot it.
They felt the breeze right, and they're like, never mind.
Imagine it's probably someone that just like got drunk and took a nap.
No, they
and
definitely
their
forgot.
hat.
I like thinking that they like their perception of the world changed. So
I don't need this anymore. They
Yeah.
fully ascended. They're like, I don't need
I
this anymore.
actually don't need this. I'm just gonna leave this here. Yeah.
Tread on me, please.
Yeah.
Hell
Also, okay, I saw the new Final Destination movie. It's
Oh,
really
hell
great.
yeah.
No spoilers. It's really great. Just a quick rundown of some of the movies we're getting this year and TV shows. We
Yeah.
are sitting in a wonderland of horror, and I don't need all these jaded assholes telling me like
It's bad.
it's like that's the thing. Okay, we have a lot of good movies coming up that are either sequels or remakes.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like if you don't want that, there's 1,000 indie films coming out in the next 2
Yeah,
weeks
yeah.
that you can find. You just have to do the work. You can't sit and bitch about how movies are all the same and not changing, and then also do no work. Because guess what? People are making content all the time.
Always
Like-
people making cool
Like
shit.
there's new. We're currently
Always,
working on a
dude.
new movie that is an original idea.
Yeah.
But that's going to be extremely indie. Like you would have to find.
You're gonna have to
that.
look
So-
for it.
So with that being said,
Do some
there's a
digging.
Friday the 13th series called Crystal Lake coming out this
Oh
year.
hell yeah.
I believe I interviewed some of the older women that are going to be on it.
Oh, they're gonna
from
get like
I believe some of them might
the
show
originals?
up. Yeah, some of them are going to show up at least for like I don't know exactly what it's going to look like. I don't know how it's shaping up. I'm very excited to have more Jason content. It's been
that's always good.
official Jason content. I mean, we've gotten like the YouTube stuff and the Never Hike Alone series
Yeah,
was
which is like some of the best.
yeah, that basically is the best. And they
But
got
that's the
some-
thing is like if you didn't look for it,
you're not going to find
like
it.
it's not in theaters.
Yeah.
You're not gonna find previews of it.
So this is we're finally
gotta,
giving
like-
it. I believe the
And it's one of the best like horror movies I've seen.
The remake of the Friday the 13th original movie came out in like 2013 or like 2009 or something like that. So we've had actually like 16 years, right? Is that right? About
ready
16
for it.
years where we haven't had Jason in our lives. Some kid basically grew up without even knowing what this shit is, which makes me
Yeah.
sad. We also have an Alien series coming to Hulu really soon called Alien Earth.
Nice.
It's gonna be out like next month. We have a new Jurassic Park movie this year, Jurassic
Yeah.
World Rebirth. Hey,
It's like the D-Rex.
yeah. There's like some alien
Thinking-
monsters in it. Spoilers.
It looks kind of xenomorph.
A lot of people online saying like, "Oh, they're not even dinosaurs anymore; they're mutants." And it's like,
Yeah.
Well, okay, the first movie
they say that.
the first
Like,
movie
these
they go
aren't-
over, it's like these were made with tree frog DNA, different stuff's happening, and then for people that read the Jurassic Park novel,
Nice, yeah.
that it's based off of. That's all that it is like just biologically.
Well, I think
the deformed monsters.
Jeff Goldblum's character is like, these aren't dinosaurs.
Yeah.
These are monsters.
Yeah.
You created monsters.
So people, and I know like I've even heard this point of view now because it's like people kind of coming back, but it's like that's what it is. Like these
what
books
it's
were
always
about
been.
bringing back dinosaurs, but like something is wrong. Like these aren't just like
that's like why they're like, oh, they're all bred so they won't reproduce, but like life finds a way. It's like because they're like mutants.
Yeah, because they're like cosmic horrors that don't need like
And they brought. I recently rewatched like the first Jurassic World, and like the Indominus Rex or whatever they make is like, or the Indoraptor, whatever it is. It's like it has all these things that they like didn't think would like it can like camouflage,
like go full stealth
chameleon on people and stuff, and it's like, yeah.
Well,
I mean, we like mixed all this DNA in it. It's gonna do that.
And that's like a good conversation about just like that in the real world, I guess, you know,
With like making mammoths and shit.
Yeah, there's
The
a lot
woolly
of-
mice. I'm like, bro, this is a slippery slope.
They're
We
trying
already
to
have
bring-
like a whole series of this shit.
They're bringing like the dire wolf back pretty soon, which I mean, it's all cool. Like as a kid, I'm like, yeah, bring
Definitely
these
cool.
things back.
I'm like, that's the thing is like the implications might be a little
factors
scary.
outweighing
Might not be
implications.
great. Yeah, it might not be great, but I am happy to be alive in such strange times, man. Whatever's going on, bro.
Truly.
For the ancient proverb, I think,
Truly.
may you be born in interesting times. Dude, we're all blessed, man.
God,
Come on,
yeah.
let's go.
Yeah.
We're so lucky to have
Yeah.
these times, man.
Man, it's
Awesome.
Like truly, yeah. And like other, you know, there's a lot of that's basically horror this week. A lot of like insane synchronicities.
Oh, yeah.
I guess like I had this thing. I don't know, like a lot of them, just too many to like. But I wrote a lot of them down because they were like big ones.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
where like our whole Earth was reacting. Like I was listening to like a podcast, an old episode, so I was just clicking through a random old episode. It didn't like just come out today or anything, and it was just like in the middle, like some random time, like when I stepped outside, they like said thunder, and like it was like one of the first storms of the year, and there had not been lightning or thunder until that point that day. So it was like the first one that busted out, and it just hit at the exact same time, and it like. I like walked back inside first. I like had to like take account of my life for a moment.
I gotta go write this down.
And there was like a few other ones that were like nearly on that level where I'm just like, the gods are fucking reacting to me right now.
Denali hit me with one. She was listening to the Ghost Ship one where we mentioned the Edmund Fitzgerald, and she's like, yeah, and I'm like, I got in my car and put my music on shuffle, and that was the first song. She's like, I haven't listened to that song in so long.
Yeah.
It
Isn't
just
that
came
weird?
on randomly. I'm like,
Hey man,
hell
you connect to the cult, you're gonna start connecting to some
You're gonna start
strange
getting
forces.
you're gonna start getting fucking signs that are like
say strange
this way.
forces. Yeah, yeah.
Keep going. Keep on trucking.
Not gonna say good, bad, high or low level energy, but definitely something strange is gonna pull you in. Yeah.
Something.
And with that,
It's all good though.
let's talk about walking through walls.
Dude, let's get into it.
All right.
Let's get in the meat.
So, what? Okay, this is patent. Okay, the patent number is US 200600141255A1. You can look this shit up if you want. This is a series of patents that was like applied for the walking through walls training system. Okay, in a little while, I'm going to put some diagrams up. We'll probably take a break and get them set up and throw them on there. But for now, I'm just going to walk through some of this stuff. Okay.
Hell yeah.
In the archives of the United States Patent and Trademark Office lies one of the most unusual applications ever filed, titled Walking Through Walls Training System. This was filed July 14th, 2004, and published 2 years later, January 19th, 2006. The application describes a method by which a human being could theoretically gain enough energy to step out of physical reality and pass through solid matter, such as wooden doors. The patent was authored by a man named John Quincy St. Clark, a private individual with no officially licensed listed affiliation to institutions. Now, that could be either that he just totally whole cloth made these things, or he's like kind of a scapegoat patsy type thing where they're just like they kind of a created person, right?
Yeah.
The stated purpose of this training system is to allow the practitioner to pull the body out of dimension by increasing their hyperspace energy. The core idea of this is by walking at a specific velocity with arms crossed over the chest to form a vortex and stepping in time with a metronome-like audible signal, one can trigger a quantum level shift that allows temporary disengagement from three-dimensional space. Thoughts so far?
I'm just trying to visualize this.
And I have the diagrams like on how to walk, on how this looks, the steps involved, it's like a very...
You should figure out how to do this.
Well, okay, right off the bat, if we wanted to start talking immediately on like what this is, it's Right, yeah, it's like cultivating energy in a way that lets you like essentially vibrate out of reality, which we've seen before in, I mean, with the Philadelphia experiment that we covered a while back, like that they created essentially a machine that would do this with a specific energy, like circling around the machine, going at a specific speed, specific technology in there doing this. This is basically and it worked that time, and it took them out of reality, and they saw like the dark beyond for a minute there.
Yeah.
And some people got melded
Watchers.
into the ships and things. Yeah. And
Horrors, man, beyond our
we've seen this happen with the military before. Now that was in the 40s. This is in the 2000s. So if we just look at how much technology has advanced since then, and this and that about how
much things advance within that time. Like they're like, if they made this patent then, it's like it's mastered now, right?
Yeah, definitely. So
we got people walking through fucking voids constantly.
And we've seen this a few places before. This is like I don't know, like kind of like yoga-ish. There's a lot of these ancient body movement, right? We talked about it with the Philosopher's Stone, that physical body manifestation where you're like doing specific movements, aligning specific, I guess you just call them chakras, like different lines in your body that you
energy
need to align.
Points and shit.
Right. And I guess like what this is saying is that done in the correct fashion, you're going to like flux out of reality, which to me sounds fine. It sounds like
awesome.
Yeah. To me, it sounds like it. And like now you're saying like, okay, how does nobody like do this or whatever? I think it's so specific that you would have to basically be trying it. I would also venture to guess that some people have accidentally done this, and that's where you get things like time slips or people literally disappearing in front of you. Like there's accounts of this happening, right, where people just pop up and it's like,
or just vanish.
So I think you could almost like trip into doing this, right?
Just do it on accident.
Kind of, right? Because we'll see the diagrams. It's just sort of like a specific step and like sort of a Fibonacci sequence, like circular spiral of like hand movement that you're doing to like catch this thing at a specific. Yeah, I got the numbers. I got the number. I got a lot of math later. I hope everybody's really excited for that.
Yeah, hell yeah. Well, because I think like, it might be a thing too that like if you try to do it, it might be really hard to do because we're getting hit with so many different like EMFs and like radio waves that like
100%
block your like vibration.
100% to talk
keep
about
you from being like it separates you from that like grounding energy. So you like really need to like cleanse yourself like from like heavy metals and like all like your whole vibration. Like you'd have to like get off the grid for a while. You probably have to like go in a place that like no fucking Wi-Fi can even touch you.
Like what if they're doing this in like out of space? What if they're like taking these trips to space? Because that's like what? Because you're right. We're in essentially like a prison system of like waves blasting us that we can't even perceive that are like holding us down, right? And we all like know this to be true at this point.
Like, I've like heard like us just walking around, we're like experiencing like 50% maybe of like what we're actually supposed to be feeling. And like if we could like get that other, that true full like feeling of what we're supposed to be, we'd have like, it would almost be like superhuman.
And people
what we know
listening that are already like, all right, these boys are off today.
It's
like how about the feeling of like going out into the woods? Like how about the feeling of like going out somewhere like separated from society? You do
like
immediately
euphoria,
feel that.
dude.
You think that's like that's not placebo. That's okay. It is like fresh air. Like that is what it is, but there's more than that. Like the term fresh air is like
the meme like, oh, touch grass. It's real. Like oh tree hugger. It's like go hug a tree. Go hug a tree. Go touch grass with your hands and your bare feet, and tell me you don't feel better. Like,
by the way, that was memed to make us not think about it. That's literally the term touch grass was such a psyop.
Oh yeah, it's one of those things to be like, oh, it's just like boo boo. It's like no, like do it, please try it.
Make you
just do
think you're stupid by like going outside.
Oh, you feel like kind of fatigued, tired, like drained. You're feeling like sad, depressed, unmotivated. Go touch grass with your bare feet. Go hug a tree.
And that's just because you're
gonna feel like the weight is lifted off of your chest.
And obviously, even there, you're still getting bombarded by so much shit. But you're like at least getting away from like some of these like larger control mechanisms.
It's like a refreshing thing. You know what I mean? Like,
so imagine like going out into space and trying to do this, right?
Oh my god.
Okay, so in this temporary hyperspatial state, the practitioner can pass through objects as if they weren't there. The patent was ultimately abandoned.
Yeah, we know what that means. It's like MK Ultra and all of them.
Though the level of detail provided is staggering. Okay, briefly, it includes a breakdown of human energy vortices, similar to chakra systems, basically lining up in like a military grade like alignment. So you'll see but it's the same lines as chakra.
Yeah.
Quantum physics equations and constants, which I'll talk about a little later. Historical reference to Saint Martin de Porres. So we have a Catholic friar who walked through walls back in the day. We'll talk about because he just might have tapped into it, doing like these specific movements. We have comparisons to we're going to talk a lot about water molecules. So water glory, there's like specific Planck barriers and it's like resonating frequencies and like how it's all about the water in you. And since you're mostly water, that is actually how you're getting through this stuff, right? Basically, Saint Clair is that's the guy's name, right? That did this. He has a whole portfolio of these like fringe like metaphysical technologies. But this is like the biggest one that we're talking about. And I think, again, it just seems like he was real, but how much of it was like his idea to put those out or if it was like somebody saying like, hey, I put these out so that I don't know. It's like either you threaten a family, you say something like put these out or it all gets deleted or just to throw it off the scent. It's to say that this guy has no affiliation to anything and then to see the direct military applications of it in different documents. It seems very bizarre, right?
There's something to it.
Yeah.
There's something going on there.
So let's talk about the hyperspace energy vortex system of the human body. All right, great. I love that kind of word. Yeah.
Please.
So central to this walking through walls system is the belief that the human body is not merely a biological organism, but a hyperspace energy being housed within a water-based vessel. Water glory.
See, that's what I'm... Dude, anytime people are like, oh, why would they be interested in us? Like, blah, blah, blah. It's like, bro, we're special.
Yeah.
We have something they don't have.
We're made out of ichor,
Yeah.
We're made out of,
And that's the thing, anytime people have these
God's blood.
experiences with these ETs, angels, whatever, it's they always tell people you don't even know what you are or where you come from. You don't even know what powers you actually have. It's real.
So the body receives and channels hyperspace energy through a network of rotating vortices aligned along the central axis of the body, basically chakra points. These vertices are described as in striking detail below here, resembling and perhaps intentionally paralleling the chakra system of Hindu and New Age belief, but framed in a language of physics and quantum metaphysics. Let's talk about these. St. Clair identified 7 major vortices, plus additional secondary ones located in the hands. Each vortex corresponds to a region of the body and a modular energy component, and each one is said to connect to a unique hyperspace dimension of a particular frequency. You with me? The rotation direction of these vertices is crucial to their function and the overall circulation of hyperspace energy.
Talking mudras?
So I'm saying hyperspace energy, and it's that's a made up word. That's the word they're giving basically yes, like a chakra,
mudras shit,
chi.
Yeah.
That's what they're calling it in this document, hyperspace energy. So if every time I say that you think that's crazy, just think of the word instead of being chi, and yeah. So here's a little breakdown of the vortex system, just as described. We have first Vortex A, the mind. You know what? We're going to I'm taking a quick break here to get some documents on the screen.
Yeah, I want to see
I want y'all to see this stuff as we go. Taking a quick break, and we're going to get right back into this madness, all right? Pumpkin Hill Radio.
We'll be right back in here.
And we're back, Pumpkin Hill Radio. It's Trav and Doss again. So I just had to get the correct documents in place here. Come to the video.
Really cool stuff.
You can just see, it might kind of seem like nonsense. We'll get into some of the actual figures and stuff in a second. I just wanted y'all to see the actual diagrams we're looking at here, because it is just showing chakra points, labeling them A through F, and then showing the movement in a Fibonacci sequence type of order of how you would move. This is so totally visual, but you're good on audio if you don't want to check it out. You'll be good. All right, so let's go over these vortices then, right? Because you'll see right here we have A through what is that, G?
Yeah.
Yeah, A through H. There's
on
one
the
of
hands.
them. Yeah, there's the 8. There's the secondary ones in the hands, right? So right on the top we have Vortex A. This is the mind. This is located in the crown. This functions has cognitive activity and cosmic communication. Channel tested for interstellar reach up to 100,000 light years.
Whoa.
This vortex you're going to want. This one rotates clockwise. Vortex B. This is your third eye. This is on the forehead. This is the function of remote viewing and intuitive sight. This is described as a hollow cone surrounded by a low-density white hyperspace energy and can be projected independently and rotates clockwise. So again, that's the remote viewing aspect there. So it's like giving like, it's showing you like in the body where these things are, where your like extrasensory perception would be, right? Vortex C, this is like located in the throat. This is for the voice and hearing. This is telepathic and remote vocal projection. I love like throwing your voice, like hearing a voice come from like a different room, or like maybe like a ghostly voice, you know, like hearing a disembodied voice type stuff. This works in tandem with the spiritual eye for a simultaneous sight and speech at a distance. So this is how people like get remote view then, right? That rotates clockwise.
Telepathy.
We have Vortex D is the heart. This is located in the chest. It has this one resonates or its function as protective energy to internal organs, arms, and hands. Pretty solid heart thing. That rotates clockwise. Vortex E, this is the abdomen and the lower organs. This is located in the solar plexus and belly. That again functions for protective energy and the digestive and metabolic systems. Clockwise. Vortex F, we have the battery. Where is this exactly in the body? It's right in your like lower gut, right?
The belt region.
Located near the navel, described as 1 to 2 inches in diameter, orange-colored plasma. It's a plasma energy ball there. It acts as an energy source with when other vortices are shut down, essential for life support during out-of-body dimensional travel. So take care of that one, your battery. Right in the navel there area. Vortex G, we have the grounding vortex. This is the base of the spine and the feet. And it's the electrical grounding of the body's energy system. So Das, that's what we were talking about earlier with like copper and everything like that. It's these they're just like protection like that. Protection and connection. Then last we have Vortex H. These are the hand vortices. These are the secondary ones. These are located in the palm of the hand. They function as projection and transfer of hyperspace energy, healing, levitation, and dimensional manipulation. The grounding vortex, that rotated counterclockwise, and this one rotates asymmetrically. So your right hand's going counterclockwise and your left hand is clockwise. So what this is saying is that your hands are moving in a specific way, right? Yeah. But the rest of them is actually you're trying to grab onto that chi energy and like move it. So that's where like Tai Chi, these practices like ancient like Eastern medicines, it's like being able to like revolve these things in a specific way and to like align them like with like your thought, like not something that's going independently of yourself. It's like you controlling them, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we're a little blurry here, huh? Let's get it back.
We're back.
Basically, that's it. The hyperspace modules, each vortex is described as feeding energy into a modular potential well within hyperspace. So that's what you're doing. You're kind of putting energy into these like pocket, little like almost pocket dimensions of each of those vortices. Kind of, it's like a little black hole almost, just holding this energy, right?
It's like the energy centers, just contain them into these.
These wells are conceptualized as quantum containers or developing energy fields associated with mind, sight, voice, heart, abdomen, battery, and grounding. Those are the 7 there.
Nice.
At the moment of physical death, St. Clair claims that these 7 modules are drawn together to form a coherent, disembodied energy being. This process is powered by the plasmic energy ball of Vortex F, which contains the logical instructions for energetic recombination. You like that? So now we're talking about this like plasmic energy ball. How many times have we talked about that, Dawson?
Yeah, man.
A plasma ball being
Always,
energy?
Dude. The plasmic soul.
We talk about the plasmic soul a lot, and this is basically the outline for it.
Yeah.
It's what it is. It's kind of nice to finally have that a little more
cool. We
grounded.
Found it.
Yeah, we found it.
We found it finally.
And it's like, we talk about it all the time. These, especially with like UAP, these things that seem like maybe some of them are like, we've seen these some very weirdly
plasmic-looking soul things. Like,
there's a lot of videos of these like just like ball lightning floating around places these days. Some of them are definitely like false flag,
super fake ones. Yeah,
but then there's also
super
like
AI.
Real ones. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Is I'll get people sending me these like we even discussed about one, but I get people like. That's one of the most consistent things that I get sent is these like energy ball videos, and I've seen a few. There was one like crossing a railroad that was like crazy. And there's a few others that I've seen. And the rest, it's that term Google bombing, where it's like the only way that you're going to get the information is from like a false flag, and then you're not going to believe it, right?
And there's like a reason, like, it's like, well, why would someone just like use AI to like make one of these? It's like, well, there's a reason, because it's like a real thing. and it's like how you kind of just dumb it down. You know, you desensitize people. So if you see one ever, like on any video of one, you're like, oh, that's fake automatically.
It's like, well,
Your
why
default.
is there a term from like Germanic speech of like, that's like at least
Kugelblitz.
yeah, Kugelblitz is a term for ball lightning, a tiny black hole, which is not a new word. It's like that was made because it was happening enough times in certain areas that it's recognizable.
Well,
as
that's a thing.
Yeah,
Like we understand it's a thing and we're naming it.
and that's like sometimes it's these very fast moving like spheres, you know, at a distance. It's really hard to tell. Are they like physical or are they this like metaphysical thing? This like just like a spirit ball basically. Like is that how these things are visiting us? Are they totally just like stepping out of time and like, you know, it's
Or is that like people from the future traveling in the past, or people from the past traveling to the future?
or is it just like a
like
monk
figure
on a
this
mountain
out?
somewhere?
Yeah,
totally,
yeah,
like
just like
projecting
The
that way.
astral, their astral body.
Yeah. So that's like, but it was just like talk about the plasmic soul. That's like what we're dealing in today. Is the like function of it and how to like react with it, right?
Yeah.
And to go so far as to just step out of.
Well, you
out of
said
tune with the
it can
whole
go what, like 100,000
100,000 light years away. It can
Dude,
travel.
because that reminds me, I don't know how real this is. I didn't look it up, but someone was telling me, they're like, yeah, did you hear like these like Russian scientists like found where like your soul goes? It goes like 100,000. It's like a bunch. I don't know if it's 100,000, but a bunch of light years away to this like weird star system.
For sure.
That's where like your soul goes when you die. I'm like, what?
I'm like, how did you figure this out? Right?
I'm like, how?
But
I'm
it
like,
is
what?
interesting to speculate. I recall like when I was.
I'd have to look into it. I might have to like do my own little thing on it
yeah.
and find out like what they saw and like get into it myself. But like, yeah, I don't know. It was like something someone told me. I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
Well,
Plasmic soul,
it
dude.
does. It mirrors like when I was a kid. I remember my brother was like talking some speculative shit, and he was talking about how possibly heaven/hell are not like in different planes, but just like in a different like part of the galaxy that you go to.
Yeah.
You know, and that always kind of blew my mind. I'm like, what if it's just like a different planet? You know?
Yeah.
So that's
Well,
like that
you
would
die.
be where
You
that's
die here, and your soul goes like back to this place.
yeah, about 100,000 light
And
years away.
this is like the simulation. You know.
Just something interesting. Dos, there's actually 3 test subjects here that we got to talk about.
Oh,
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Experiments involving these 3 test subjects measured by the rotational energy of their hand vortices using a pendulum. Each demonstrated different vortex radii. All right. So subject 1 had minimal vortex rotation or low energy. Subject 2 had a vortex of about 1 inch of radius, and subject 3 had a 4-inch radius, and it was like covering the entire hand. So subject 3 in particular was reported to lift a prone person off a table using only energy projected from his hands.
Hell yeah.
Here's another one. He walked through a wooden door accompanied by a dog.
So he brought a dog with
Brought
him.
a dog with him. He brought it into his like
What?
vibration. Yeah. So we've seen that too.
So you could
Just
you could like travel with somebody, like come with me, and be like,
yeah, and
"We're
you've
going."
seen that in like movies and shit
Yeah.
before, where it's like you just need to kind of be with them for them to take you, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
need to- they're vibrating so high that just them touching you like affects all your atoms, right?
yeah.
That's how it's like. Yeah, you're bringing a dog with, right? Which is insane, but yeah, it's like I guess you wouldn't want to try to
That
human
almost
first, I
like
suppose.
it reminds me almost of like also one where that thing is just like, come on.
Then he's just you're right.
All of a sudden
Just-
you're in this new
you're just
spot.
there already. Yeah.
Damn.
And also, lifting a person off a table. That's like some
That's like
serious
magic
telekinetic
stuff,
power.
yeah.
And it's like we're talking about how this maps out like all your like all your like paranormal
Mm-hmm.
like senses, right? Like from clairvoyance to like astral projecting to like I guess like if you can get these vortices going in your hands, it's like this guy's entire hands were basically like phasing out of reality, and he was like lifting people up, right? And it's like I've talked about this a bunch of times, like just a little bit of Tai Chi I learned, and like immediately was like, oh, that's how like it's the old like move your energy from your mind to the end of your fingers, and then like just keep that going and like try to reach a little
Stretch it,
further,
yeah.
you know, like hold like a staff for a while and hold that end to end so you can feel it traveling down the staff. And then it's like at some point you take the staff away and it's still the energy's still moving.
You're still
right?
affecting that stuff.
Yeah, and that all has to do with this, you know, in this like military grade aspect of it, like that's what they're talking
Well,
about.
I think
here.
like, yeah, if the military is gonna like try to find everything and like weaponize anything, they're looking into everything.
we talked in this. So this was 2004. The patent was like filed originally, right? Cleared in 2006. But if we talk about directly after 9/11, they were using remote viewing to find Osama, and they had like more than negligible results. Like part of that was like how they got him. Like eventually, but it's like
that was like their clue.
That's
what they were going.
That's what they said in military documents. They were like there was enough data from them doing this to not be just dismissed. Yeah, like something was correct here. So, just to show, and again, that was in 2001. They were doing that. 40 years earlier, they were trying to, it's the men who stare at goats type stuff, which we'll get into later. But for all time, they've been doing this, and for 50 plus years, they've nearly mastered it. So at this point, it's like, where are we with this? To go on like a tangent, but it's the same with like most technologies we have right now. How it's like hand-me-downs from military grade, like secret military stuff, issue stuff, like 50 years ago again, or earlier even. And like same, I guess they've been using these different like AI models since like the 80s and 90s, and now in 35 years later, we get like a fucking consumer version of it that still like sucks. Yeah, it's like they were using
isn't like great.
They're using like AI systems to like navigate how like
they have to like they can't let us have like all of it. Yeah, they're like, here, have like a little bit of this because it's gonna get out eventually. And it's like here's like a kiddie version with like padding around it
for $50,000. You can clone your dog now. Yeah, you can get It's not breeding. It's a clone. We heard about the cloned sheep like decades ago, and that was like kind of the cute puff story for the public. It's like they had it mastered at that point. They are using this technology in extremely nefarious ways.
For sure doing this. Yeah. Like, I mean, like, not go off too far on a tangent, but like, I mean, people have like had those theories on like celebrities forever.
There's this. We got
like Amy Winehouse, Lady Gaga is like their clones.
Yeah, I could. Yeah.
Like people have like they have like similar like little like freckles and like moles and like birthmarks and stuff.
Or it's they like come back after like a rehab thing and they don't have them anymore. Any of these
that
like,
too.
Who is this guy?
They look different now.
Yeah. Like, and again, all these stories by themselves are like kind of silly, but then you'll get the bulk of the evidence in front of you at once, and you're like, what the hell?
Like, and then like the different cases of it, you're like, okay, there's like a ton of this like evidence. Some of them have to be kind of right. I'm sure some of them are reaches. I've seen a few. Seen enough where I'm like, okay, they're like really reaching on this one, but like there's some where I'm like, I mean, I can't disprove it. Like I can't say that they don't have something. They don't have some sort of a point here.
And really, okay, we're just on full tangent territory. Sorry. That's just what it is. We haven't been in the room for a while. We'll definitely do a full clone episode at some point. Yeah. But it is it's like all these and you showed me today even, but it's all these like very wealthy people from like old time, like 1700s.
They were like celebrities of the time.
It's like, do you think that they, I don't know, like kept their DNA somehow safe in like the Vatican, and then when they got the technology to do it like 30 years ago or whatever, they just like did it. And now we have all of these celebrities that just look identical to like oligarchs from.
And they like somehow don't seem like they're aging at all.
Yeah, it's either that or it's like it's
like Ellen DeGeneres has looked the same age for 20 years.
Yeah. Well, that's the adrenochrome and all that.
But yeah, that's the thing is like, are they like, are they being cloned or are they like vampires?
Vampiric staying alive forever. This is a good episode for another time.
Yeah. But this is a whole nother fucking. As always, as we get into this stuff, we get to a point where like we just need to do a whole episode on this part of this. A small part of this thing.
Yeah, so let's talk about water molecules and dimensional thresholds.
Oh, hell yeah.
Or as I like to call it, water glory.
Water glory. That's
so. We have this like mathematical justification with the composition of the human body. So humans are approximately 67% water. I've heard more and less. I haven't heard less. I've heard more.
Sure. It depends on how hydrated you are.
Yeah. So with a focus on the mass of a single water molecule, we can. This aligns to the critical factor in dimensional alignment. Okay, so just a little bit of math here. The molecule formula for H2O, the atomic mass of H is 1.008 AMU, which is 2 hydrogen atoms right there, right? Mm-hmm. We have the atomic mass of O is 16.000 AMU. The total molecular mass then is 18.016 AMU. And then using Avogadro's number, which is 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd molecules by, oh my God, Yeah, by molecule. Okay, this is where the math gets in, and I'm a little bit. You want to just
math so good?
M equals 0.0180016 kg.
Mm-hmm.
And there's I can put these maths formulas somewhere. Basically, the molecular this
makes sense.
This molecular math is used to plot the molecule's quantum position within the tetrahedron diagram, which is this thing right here. We're seeing, and it gets like there's all like 7 or 8 of these walking steps. The diagram gets more and more complex as it goes down.
Like stacks on.
So the relationship is presented as the base constant of the tetrahedron diagram, a geometric model that plots mass versus wavelength of a logarithmic scale. St. Clair's idea claims that this base constant defines the edge of our dimension, the Planck box. So let's talk about that again. So now that I just read it once, let's read that again a little bit. So he's saying that the mass of these singular water molecules and how they're moving in our body become like the base of like how this diagram works, and then that is that plots the mass versus the wavelength, right? And we know that like it's like light is also a wave and a fucking. It's just talking about where the edge of the universe is, and it's like I guess it lies like at the in the molecule, like it's like the water molecule, right? That's what he's saying. Is like at least that's how you like energize correctly.
Yeah.
The water molecule becomes this dimensional device, right? And water glory,
right?
End episode.
Follow that. I'm following this.
And it's called the Planck box, is what they call the edge of our dimension. Which is Planck boundaries. Those are extremely small masses and like lengths, right? It's just it's like the smallest like scale you can get on things. So the two axes of this box are the limits of our space-time, essentially. St. Clair, and that's enough math for a second. I'm sorry, I had to read some math just to show you that there was some in here, right? St. Clair introduces a complex diagram involving nested and inverted tetrahedrons, geometric shapes with triangular faces that define the interplay between space and hyperspace. We have the mass of the water molecule, when plotted on the diagram, intersects with the Planck boundary. At this boundary, the energy and mass of the water molecule becomes numerically equal. Okay, and then the geometric positioning indicates that the water, the major component of the human body, sits at the edge of the dimensional permeability. Excuse me. So again, it's just talking about the math of like how water in general works and how we're mostly water, mixed with like aligning our like hyperspace energies, which are just chakras. I know that word sounds buzzwordy, but it's just chakras. One of the oldest things we have to talk about. Yeah.
That charges those water molecules.
Mm-hmm. And knowing how to rotate those correctly, while you also move your body correctly, then you're breaking through this Planck barrier and entering into like a different space-time.
Okay.
I don't even want... Awesome. I have a lot more like this equals that and a bunch of numbers. And
I don't know what any of that means.
One such point E, is located at the Planck boundary and represents the threshold at which the body may exit normal dimensional constraints. So, should I go any further? I mean, to move the body into hyperspace, St. Clair introduces the idea of walking momentum. The principle is this: momentum equals mass times velocity. He argues that a specific walking rhythm derived from a person's weight and constant produces the exact energy profile needed to shift dimensions. Okay? That's like, again, I have more math here then, but by walking in precisely measured strides, timed to a 1-second metronome with arms crossed to generate a vortex, the practitioner generates an energetic resonance that aligns with hyperspace geometry.
Nice.
This act stimulates the movement of the water molecules towards the dimensional boundary, and according to this, allows the body to pop out of dimensional lock.
Pop out.
Yeah, just pop right out.
Bloop.
How many more? All right. So kind of it might sound like that. Human energy fields resonate between 1 to 5 hertz, matching the frequency of the ideal stride calculated by his system. Walking faster or slower breaks his resonance, and the vortex must lock onto the pineal gland and heart vortex, producing yawning, melatonin releases, and trance-like states. So you can see the diagrams in the back. It's literally like 7 steps to do it. right? It's like 7 or
Yeah.
8 steps. It's like about halfway through there. I guess like on your like third or fourth step, if done correctly, like you get like a massive like release of melatonin, like like a little bit of DMT hit basically
Real
too.
sleepy.
Yeah. He further describes a white vertical line that appears in the visual field during successful walking trials. This was subject 2 and 3 both experienced. This interpreted as a visual marker of dimensional synchronization. This is interpreted as a visual marker of dimensional synchronization, similar to the concept of an energy meridian or spatial or spiritual accesses. Whew. This is a good one, folks, huh?
Yeah, holy smokes, man.
So the water molecule as a dimensional key, then water glory.
Water glory.
Because
Water
and I know that we've been in the oceans a lot recently for the episodes. We did we just got done with our 2-part ghost ship stuff. Yeah, it all
Very
leads to
much
this.
water,
It all leads to this.
Yeah,
talking about how water can hold energy, hold memories, how the oceans are basically their own biological creature at some point.
Yeah.
Because
Charged.
correctly
Charged.
by the dolphins.
Yeah.
Right?
Keep
If
the
we can teach
frequency right.
ourselves to do it, then who knows? Because the human body is composed primarily of water, the mass of the water molecule aligns exactly with the energy boundary of space and hyperspace. Any increase in energy via walking, vortex control, or emotional and spiritual charge could push the body out of phase. So I also think that although this is a diagram for how to do it, there are probably other methods. Like as long as you can like get your mass to equal make the water mass equal the velocity while you're like spiritually energized. It's like, and that's where like I'm saying like yogi like methods, like these even like intense meditation. Like I think probably like, and if maybe like even just like meditating so hard that your velocity is more keyed into just like the velocity of how like the earth is spinning, right? Instead of like your own thing. I don't know. I'm trying to think of other ways that you could like lock into that, or you're touching parts of it when you're meditating, and that's how like you see the like monks like floating like 10 fucking feet in the air, even like half an inch. You know, I'm just pulling.
Well, dude, I mean, I've maybe talked about it before, but like I've like gotten like the like hypnotherapy before, and then like I've like done like meditation and stuff
briefly
too, where like
it.
where like I was like all of a sudden I was getting in this like vibrational state where like it felt like I was like on a boat on water, like I was like moving, swaying, and
The
shit.
water.
It felt like I was on water, and it was like I was like went to this place, and then, like I was like on a dock.
Yeah, man.
Like I was like traveling through water to like this spot.
So it sounds like they're able to, and it's not. So this is you getting all 7 plus your plus the secondary ones aligned. But if you just align even one, then you're like flying, or you're astral projecting, or you're remote viewing. You know, it's and it's somebody else is keying you into that, and it's like, and it's literally if we said this guy brought a dog through, it's like you can your energy, as we all know, your frequency can affect other people.
Yeah,
and it's not just about having a good or a bad day. It's literally like, here I'm in the fucking 3rd dimension, here 4th dimension, touch you. It's like now we're fucking seeing this.
Now you're in this with me.
100%.
Dude,
like
that's
a great little sidetrack there, Doss. That's definitely like individual paranormal experiences
Very
can be
real.
explained by specific vortexes on this line. You know,
you can just like feel the energy of these like waves of like water almost. Where like I like had to like open my eyes when I was doing it. 'Cause I'm like, am I like shaking without like, am I like doing this? Yeah, and I woke up and I was like, I was so still.
You're probably getting like the melatonin hit, probably the, like the
you get
like
so
the
relaxed where you almost
just locked in.
You almost feel like you're like slipping into like sleep,
and to be locked into that state so fast by someone else's doing. Like we're saying, okay, so that's a scary thought. Also, like is the thing like so that's what we're doing here is we're showing how to like break out of that and try to reach like the higher mind of it all. But also just realize that the government found this out and they've and really world leaders and population and population control things have been used for centuries,
like
right?
People
so
that like vanish. Is it
so
just like this kind of a thing happening? Like
it's like if you can give like a controlled strike on someone and just disappear them,
if you can
literally
target this frequency and charge it and like hit someone with it, because we know there's like sound weapons. If you can like just like target someone from like a satellite, boom.
Yeah. Well, up to 100,000 light years, it sounds like.
Yeah. Bloop. See ya.
Just zap
You're
them.
somewhere else now.
Yeah. It's like if you can learn how to control this positively, then a 100% like I've been saying percents a lot. Usually 100.
I'm about 100. Dude, I stay 100.
Yeah, and we're saying 100 or above, but like. You can
above.
go lower then too, right? If you can go higher, you can also go lower, and then you can also bring people lower. So there's also just the idea of the entire world being lowered in vibration by multiple sources, right? But that is like this is the
to keep you from like really transcending to these things and getting this like knowledge.
And this
I'm
is-
sure that's how you tap into like the Akashic record.
Yeah.
You get these like these ancient wisdoms and like unlock these like superpowers and like yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, are you
Telepathy.
even?
Like I'm sure if we all were able to like constantly be tapped into these higher vibrations, we wouldn't need words.
No.
We would just talk to each other through like our minds
Yeah, just be too
and
powerful.
our intention. Yeah.
You can check in on people whenever you want. You can go
Like,
visit your mom whenever you
Mom?
want. Fucking zap
Hey,
in.
Mom.
Yeah.
It'd be
Apparently, even if they're fucking passed away, maybe, you know. What
Oh,
I mean?
I
It's like-
bet. I imagine.
Yeah, like
'Cause I don't think that like spirit goes away. Like
Mm.
the physical body might die, but like that spirit's still like out there doing its thing,
if it's
watching
yeah, if
down
it's within
like, whatever it
100,000
is.
light years.
Yeah, which I buy. I mean, that's a lot.
Oh yeah, and especially if it's just like an overlaid plane and it's just right next door, you know.
It's right here.
Okay, so the augmented energy of the water molecule moves its plotted position outside the Planck box. This geometric equation makes the impossible, like passing through a door, possible by rendering the matter out of phase. That's as simple as it gets. It's just like the
Yeah.
out of phase idea. And you can see with vibrations. It's if you vibrate something in a different way, you can pass it through. It's a very simple concept that like you can kind of
Like,
see.
because
happening in
everything's
our reality,
got like
yeah.
a certain like vibrational level on like an atomic level. We were having a conversation about this at the Kava bar recently about like how if you could because we're all like this is all like solid because we all like kind of have this like agreement that like it's there and that's like what it is. But if you could like change your vibration in a certain sense, you could like pass your hand through like
pushing through
tables
it.
and like walls. It's kind of the same thing where it's like, yeah, if you could like master that, and it's like the reason people don't is because it's like not super easy. There's a lot of things like affecting you,
And the
changing that vibration
And the
constantly.
people that are doing it probably aren't saying it afterward because they're
No.
just honestly so enlightened they wouldn't give a shit about that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
like, I don't need to-
Basically, you know.
Yeah.
If you get to that state, you kind of become like I'd say like kind of like an elemental protector of like the earth at that point. That's what I always
I
think.
think
like,
too, if you like hit that state, I think you leave, you go to that place, and I don't know if you like necessarily come all the way back.
No, you definitely
You know,
leave a little bit
like
behind.
you're there,
you
you're like
take it
you
with,
probably
yeah.
still like have an effect on this like realm, but you're not like physically. You just like pass on to this realm. You just, I mean, I imagine you just kind of stay there. Maybe you can't come back. Maybe you can. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it depends. Yeah, you want to make sure you're locked into a good vibration, and you just stuck over there.
Yeah,
Right.
you just get
Or you bring
stranded.
the Philadelphia experiment tech, and you can kind of zap wherever you want, or not wherever
Yeah.
you want, but I mean you can zap
wherever
out
you
for a second.
wherever you end up.
You don't get to pick always. And I have a lot of this. Okay, so he compared it to this phenomena that happens when straw gets embedded into wooden poles during tornadoes, where it's this intense energy pulls both materials out of like the normal space, allowing them to like and it's
Like,
not as
meld
simple
into
as
it.
like shooting a needle into like this like piece of it's like there's like scans of this thing where the molecules are like meshed
They
together.
fuse, yeah.
Right, and it's just like bizarre. And there's other like
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
other things we talked about with the Philadelphia experiment, people getting like meshed together, fusing together with the machine.
That's like also one like his like bullet casing going inside out and
Yeah.
like it ending up in his like whatever his like water bottle.
Yes, yeah, it just ends up somewhere else, kind of.
It's like what?
So yeah, I can talk. Yeah, so like essentially the mass of the energy of water it's the natural medium for interdimensional shifts, right? Which is kind of cool since we're made up of water, we get
Yeah.
access to that. The body is tuned into this gate by generating specific walking-based momentum, right? Cross-handed walking amplifies vortex energies, unlocking the transition point. The diagrams serve as more of a... So that's what the diagram is more of like... It's a mix between... And it almost looks like alchemical papers, right? Like
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
like... These are like ancient ritual
is
geometry.
alchemy,
These are
basically.
ritual geometries we're dealing
Yeah.
with. Fucking sacred geometries that they're dealing with. Like...
This is like the
encoded-
ancient knowledge we just like haven't we're like we like forgot. We have an amnesia to it and we're like we don't even know what this does, but it's
Yeah,
something
well,
it's
well,
important
this is-
enough
This
for
is
some reason.
It was called an initiatory ritual encoded in mathematic language.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's like what it is. It's like this thing that you can forget, but it's always there because it's the background of our reality.
If you like were able, yeah, that's why like the ancients like carved this shit into stone because like we see it and we're like this is important. I don't know why. I can't put my finger on it, but like there's something about this that's like powerful. That's why these symbols are constantly reused. Just like they've been saved forever. Like people just remember them. Like I feel like it's like a natural thing. Like I remember being a kid and you're like doodling. It's like I'm just drawing like you're drawing like spirals and like different like these different like geometric shapes that just like are natural that come to your mind.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, all right, I don't know, I'm just drawing, scribbling, but it's like these like ancient like embedded in our fucking
baked
DNA
in.
shit.
Yeah. Okay, do you want to hear a little story about?
Yeah, hell yeah.
This is San Martin de Porres, a 16th century Dominican friar in Lima, Peru. Born in 1579 in Lima, Martin de Porres was the illegitimate son of Spanish noblemen and a freed black woman from Panama.
Nice.
He was he was mixed race back in the 1500s, faced some pretty harsh discrimination in Peru. Eventually joined the Dominican order as a lay brother. Despite not being a fully ordained priest, he became known for his acts of compassion, humility, and miraculous abilities.
Nice.
He was never even an ordained priest, and yet they canonized him, which means as 1962, he became Pope John.
Yeah.
He's the patron saint of social justice, public health workers, barbers, and hairdressers. Great. But among but among the faithful and witnesses of his time, he was more of a symbol of like mysticism.
Yeah.
Because he has done what we are talking about today.
Again,
this was just some guy that wasn't a priest that was able to pull off these feats through either meditation or just being in that, some people are just born in that fucking
vibe.
zone.
Some people just had it.
And the Vatican noticed back in the 1500s.
Yeah.
And they're like, that guy's got to be like the Pope then. If he's like,
because touched by God.
Yes. We have reference to these eyewitness accounts of Martin's ability to pass through locked doors. One case tells of a witness standing at an open door of Martin's cell, waiting for him to return, only to see the friar emerge from the inside of the locked cell behind him.
Whoa.
The account emphasizes that the witness never looked away. There was no physical entrance. He just folded through like the stone wall behind him, whatever. We also have he also was fellow friars and people watching him testified to while he was deep in prayer, he would enter ecstatic states where he levitated above the ground, as we talked about already today. Yeah. In these moments, he would appear oblivious to his surroundings, often requiring others to wait until he returned to a normal state before he can interact with them.
Like,
so you're not even on the same
astral
plane.
Projecting.
Yeah.
Like his physical body's here, but he's like moved on.
We have descriptions of Saint Martin's ability to traverse great distances. For example, he was reported to have visited the sick miles away and returned with medicine in a time frame that defies normal explanation. He also has appeared in 2 places at once. There are accounts of him just like being in 2 places talking to people at the same time.
What the fuck?
Like he can split or something like that. Like manipulate space time. Like with the manipulation of space time. Yeah, it's like if you're out of time. Yeah,
if you're like coming in and out of dimensions. Yeah.
They're yeah. He does. I mean, so just to talk about like how his like spiritual energy shit goes. Like there's like accounts of him like taking rats out of traps and shit. And but then that one account is he takes a rat out of a trap, requests to the rat to inform his fellow rodents to relocate to the garden, and promises to feed them there. The rats like immediately move to the garden and they just live like before he starts feeding them. They just all go out there and none of them get fucking stuck in the trap anymore because he's like,
it's like, hey guys, we don't have to do this like you dying, you invading our space. You can be happy out there. Just go out there.
I've heard about dolphins and water glory, but rat glory. Rat glory,
awesome, dude.
Yeah,
king of the rats.
A key detail of St. Clair St. Clair, the patent developer, emphasizes the X-shaped position in many depictions of San Martin. So he's depicted doing this vortice thing. Right arm crossed over the left.
Doing that a lot.
Right arm crossed over the left across the chest. In religious iconography, this is often a sign of prayer and submission, but also it's like this. And it's shown in like you'll see now. Let's start looking for it. Look for this like hand crossed over picture. A lot of different.
That's like a funeral thing too, right?
Yeah, dude.
That's
buddy.
Sarcophagi.
Yeah, dude.
They're like holding like they're like things.
Ooh, that's a good one, dude. That's what they do in every culture, dude. You gotta cross the arms to create the vortices.
That's what it is.
That is what it is.
I remember it was a long time ago, but my grandpa was like sleeping and he had his arms crossed like this, and like my grandma like went by and we're like, is he dead right now? Is he alive? And he was just
That is how
deep in
I
sleep,
do.
but he was
Sleep,
like,
I do sleep coffin style when I can,
dude, it's so.
But
good.
you're right, dude. It's just
I imagine
crossing
he
that
was
to
like
help the
having
very
crazy
because even
dreams.
in like these ancient times when these traditions are formed, they are recognizing like they're probably like over time you're recognizing okay when we cross the hands this way, there's like a sense of like there's a sense of like lightness to the situation, or a sense of like that you can feel the vibration in the room. You know, I'd say over like generations of people doing that across the world, you just all come to this conclusion that you just do this.
This is how it goes.
It's like you never do that in your normal life usually. Why would they just say to do that? Like, you know,
it's like, oh, he's dying. This is how God put his hand so he like can pass through.
So the importance of, and that's basically like we can do like more on that, like on that old Pope that walked through walls and went, and that was a Pope, by the way, canonized. The Vatican's like, that happened. That's like some of like miraculous shit, right? I'm talking miracles. It's just
it's
like
miracle.
Energy. It's like
Passing through walls,
energy
doors.
vortex manipulation, right? So that, that's, and all this is like the importance of intention, ritualized motion, excuse me, and sacred symbolism mirrors like this broader esoteric truth, right, that we keep on tapping on. It's like all this stuff is somehow connected. These movements that affect like the entire world, right?
Every culture.
Yeah. I honestly have more about how to dig into like how to really do this in some math, but I think we're like pretty good here. I think that without getting like boring about like stuff, if you hit me the email if you want to like instructions, because I have the instructions here.
I think we should just try to start doing this.
I think so.
And then if we can just do it, get it on camera.
We have
do it live.
Yeah, real quick, just do it live. That'd be great. Just phase out forever.
Oh, he's gone.
So we have like, and we talk about like there's this walking, like monks do this specific walking all the time. There's different forms of religion that have this built into it. There's these, I'm talking about like Eastern movements and stuff that Qui-Gon forms, which is like, I say Qui-Gon as you think about Qui-Gon Jinn now.
Star Wars.
But that's what it is. These
what it's based
are
off.
model off of like spiritual
it's like
knights, right?
Is Star Wars based off of this? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like,
so really,
this
will be its own episode. But this practice was baked into then something called the First Earth Battalion, which is and this is where it gets confusing because it was a fiction book, but it also was a real military, quote unquote, abandoned thing that was started with what you call the Men That Stare at Goats, is MK Ultra stuff. It kind of grew into this, and now it's
you make a good
now
fiction
it's abandoned.
book.
So never mind.
Yeah, you make a fiction book, it's abandoned, and now it's like Google bombed. You look it up, you're gonna find a fiction book.
Yeah, so
and it's fake. It's fake.
And so the First Earth Battalion was literally created based off of like some Jedi principles and shit. But it's all all folds. Yeah, fucking military parallels beyond belief here, and like an ancient religious parallels.
They abandoned the Jedi.
We also in Zen Buddhism we have the Kaon-based movement practices. Nice. We have labyrinth walking in Christian mysticism. There's like all these things have this movement to them. You know, I think that it's cool to talk on like the water glory of it all, huh?
Yeah. Water glory.
I literally have so many more notes here. I got it. Okay. We're done with this episode.
Yeah.
If I do any more, I'm gonna phase out of reality. I swear to God. Well, please tell us what you think about this one. This was like just a nice wild one.
There's so much more we can get into. We can do another fucking episode on it if we need to.
Another half episode. Yeah, I'm too scared.
Yeah.
I'm just too scared.
Something is like I want to try to do this one. I'm like, bro, I don't know if I'll like. What if I can't come back?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. Might be scary.
Tell us what you thought. Hit us up, pumpkinhillradio@gmail.com, or just any of the socials, pumpkinhillradio.com, excuse me, to find all our socials. Just message us or, leave us a comment somewhere. Because this is all very interesting. If you think it's science fiction, it's science fucking fact.
Yeah.
There's and like, at the end of the day, if this is somehow like some psyop false flag, it just means that they're dangling this in front of you because there's a darker fruit just beyond.
Way
it.
weirder.
Yeah, that's all it is. That's what it is. So.
Giving us like giving us a rotten egg because the ripe fruit's just beyond.
But this is so close to the fucking
the
water glory.
It just feels real, dude. It feels right.
Mm-hmm.
Everything about that is like it's all adding up. I'm like, all right.
And I would suggest
forming this idea.
Now that we're at the very end of this episode, I would suggest before you listen to our other water-based episodes.
Yeah.
Let's go back so you can tie more of the stuff in, because we hit a really good point with how dolphins are these ancient, like possibly ancient creatures that just based on like their like the way they speak to each other, like even somewhat telepathically, they're even charging the water, specifically even the salt in the water and the molecule itself, to like just give the entire world sort of a vibration boost.
Give it
you
this,
know,
like balance. Yeah.
A lot of really cool content on. I liked the dolphin one a lot.
Dolphin's really good.
Check the
I
mermaids,
can't
check the
let go of
ghost
that
ships. And you know what? We're about to record a sea monster episode pretty soon here.
Yeah,
so we're not out of the water yet, but this might be our wildest idea on the water.
Yeah.
Go ahead and join our Patreon, patreon.com/pumpkinhillradio for more of this kind of stuff. Rate and review us wherever you can. Again, the ratings really help. And then also tell your friends, tell your parents about us.
Yeah.
They're going to love us. If you have experience or anything, just email us. And I think that's everything we got here. I've been Travis Wormwood. That's Dawson Trailer.
Check it out.
It's Pumpkin Hill Radio.
Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.